Hello Virgo, Virgo rising, and Virgo moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for January 2017. And a quick reminder for you guys, remember winter's when I start rolling out all the classes, and January I've got lots of classes for enrollment, 3 different tarot classes as well as an astrology webinar all about love, compatibility, and karmic relationships. And so if you'd like to sign up for any of those, you can always register at my website, integrativemysticism.com. It's the same place you would go to get a session with me or order a downloadable video file. So, what is going on with your January? Well, I've been telling everyone we've got a lot of leftover energy this month, and that is because at the very end of December we had Saturn link up with Uranus in a very peaceful, very harmonious trine. And this is between Sagittarius and Aries, and what's going on is we're talking about bringing order to chaos. We're talking about the R's, the 2 R's I'm throwing in here: reconciliation and reconsideration. And this is happening in your 4th house of home and family, as well as connecting to your 6th house. I'm sorry, your 8th house. Your 8th house, almost said 6. Your 8th house of passive income, shared resources, as well as any kind of extra, income that could be coming your way. Supplemental income, self-employment income. And when we have this kind of angle show up, it's time to be thinking about ways to, get extra income avenues flowing into the home. And this could be a great time for those of you that are looking to perhaps expand on home economics or increase the home economy, whether it's through, getting more business opportunities for you and your spouse. You may be hearing about a spouse going through a bit of a windfall of their own during this time, where they're bringing in more money. Or you may even be finding out about extra financial opportunities coming to you through the neighborhood or even through family members. And it might be a good time to reconsider or reconcile some issues that may have inhibited your ability to go into business for yourself, finding something to do, working remotely, possibly from home, in addition to what you already do. For those of you who already do work from home, or those of you who do own your own business, it's a wonderful period. Even though January is typically considered a slower business month, this might actually be an advantageous time for a lot of Virgos to get ahead on the year and the competition. We've also got Mercury, currently retrograde in your 5th house of love and romance, in Capricorn for the first week and a half of the month. And it's kind of interesting because it's really wrapping up its time here, but we're still dealing with a lot of old past stuff that needs to come back when it comes to your love life. Some of you may be, coming back and talking to old flames and old crushes still. Those conversations may be lingering, but we may also be finding ourselves dealing with past issues with a partner, whether it's old issues, old discussions, or plans that we've never really got to finish, whether they are pleasant or maybe a little bit challenging. They do need to come up during this time for review to be cleared, kind of giving both of you and your partner a clean slate. This is, however, going to slip back. Mercury is going to retrograde so far that it goes back into Sagittarius on the 4th. And during this time, it's going to bridge the 5th and the 4th house cusp. Meaning that, again, for those of you who are, currently, if you have children, if you're parents and your children live at home, this could cause some challenges when it comes to handling children on the home front. And typically when it comes to the 5th and 4th house cusp, it has a lot to do with maybe a child in your life that is not actually getting along with the rest of the family. And we have to find a way to, again, reconcile and, and reconsider how to deal with this. We may not be able to actually force peace. You may find that your child and maybe, one of your other relatives or one of their siblings, or maybe even, one of your parents, one of the child's grandparents, are just in a clash in the middle of this month. And it's time to actually honor both people's opinions and feelings about this clash. I definitely don't want you to try and patch this up or put a coat of whitewash on it. It does need to come out to be seen. Luckily, Mercury will go direct very, very quickly on the 8th and then slip back into Capricorn by the 12th. And it will be a momentary issue or a momentary clash that I see happening with the one I discussed. So it may not happen to all Virgos out there because, again, it's only in Sagittarius for so long. And when Mercury is finally going ahead, we have more clear lines of communication and people are being more honest, especially when it comes to, whether or not we feel like our kids are telling us the whole truth about any issues that we may be having or they might be having. We've also got, early in the month, on the 3rd, Venus, the planet of love and harmony and luck, moving into your partnership sector, Pisces, where she will stay all month. And with Venus in the 7th house, it is time to be bringing more love and affection into your one-on-one relationships. And what do I always say? Well, the 7th house is more than just romantic partners, but they are definitely a part of it. It's considered a marital house, but it's also your closest one-on-one relationships, such as your best friend, your business partner, and anyone that you actually are bound to in some way. And with Venus going in here, if you've been having any trouble with, maybe some disharmony in a friendship, or maybe even some controversy in a business partnership, we are smoothing it out. We're bringing in peace. This is a deeply romantic month for a lot of Virgos as well, because we do also have Mars and Venus in this part of your chart throughout the entire month. And this can be an incredibly passionate time for new couples to kind of extend their honeymoon period. That honeymoon time that only lasts about 3 months, this could be going on a little bit longer, or bringing in another honeymoon phase, as they do come and go, into an existing partnership as well. And you may be noticing your partner becoming more interested and more invested, maybe a tad clingy, but in that sweet, endearing way during this time as well. On the 12th, we've got a full moon occurring in Cancer, which is in your 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, as well as your international affairs, anything that you're working on, again, online, broadcast, media, international business. And this full moon is going to bring either a legal situation or a situation like that to a close very soon. We may be seeing the end in sight. Any outstanding legal issues or outstanding applications or, dialogues you're having with your local government are going to start to wrap up during this time in a very satisfactory way. But I will say, because this full moon does also square Uranus in your 8th house, it may show that maybe an education plan is a bit more expensive than it's worth, and we may need to reconsider another option. Maybe options B and C are looking better than A. So those of you who are applying for school, university, or trying to finish a course may need to pivot a little bit, and you'll find that out more at the end of the month. On the 19th, we do have the Sun moving into Aquarius, into your 6th house of work, reputation, and your physical health. And this is a wonderful time for those of you Virgos who are trying to get a health issue under control. If you've been worried about your weight, or maybe worried about, whether or not we can find a way to quit a bad habit, such as smoking, or overeating, or undereating, this is a time where we can actually, again, get the real control in. And sometimes the Sun can point out where we might have not enough control, or not enough self-control in the 6th house, or it might show where we are exhibiting way too much control. Because sometimes we get addicted to things like fitness and diets because they give us a sense of control. And so it's all about bringing that back into balance and getting the most out of that routine that it's intended to have. But the nice thing about this is, it is all in the interest of healing. It's all in the interest of optimizing your health. This is also a great time for a lot of you on the work front, on the financial front, because on the 27th we have a new moon in Aquarius, which is basically giving the promise of a new schedule, a new, more profitable schedule, whether it's with an existing employer or a new one, that is going to be perfect to put you with the most compatible customers and the most profitable business and, again, business flow. Sometimes, and me being a Virgo, I've had to deal with that as well, especially online. It is just so hard to find what is the best schedule, what is the best calendar to keep. with people to make sure that business is going the way you want it to go, you know. And the last time we had a new moon in this area, I switched to doing a Sunday through Thursday work week, and that was great for me. You might want to consider doing something, you know, what can you switch? What can you flip around? That might actually be the idea that you need to think about, because that could be the difference between good and great in your business. Finally, we do have Mars, the planet of action and energy and conviction, moving into Aries, into that 8th house of intimacy and shared resources. And with Mars going into the 8th house, it's time to enjoy some carnal pleasures. And at the risk of going beyond the PG-13 that I try to keep this channel, I'll just say it's making for a very hot February. So you'll be staying plenty warm, I think, during the last winter month. But I also like, with this Mars going into the 8th house, is a more aggressive opportunity for, again, on the financial front, for you Virgos to be making extra money for yourselves by pulling in more overtime. And you may find with Mars in the 8th house that it's much easier for you to conquer debts, as well as conquer any kind of lingering expenses you no longer wish to take into the rest of the year. Be careful though during this time. You may be tempted to take out more on credit or borrow more money than you really should, because everyone will be saying yes. It's okay, but I honestly think that you need to curb your enthusiasm. You don't want to leverage too much with Mars in the 8th. So that is your forecast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you would like to get a session with me, or sign up for any of the classes, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.